Every 4 years, the entire world just hits pause. We all tune in for the biggest sporting event on Earth. But, behind the roaring crowds, the bright stadium lights, and the dazzling goals, there's a secondary, hidden game being played. One you definitely can't see on the pitch. Welcome to This Explainer. Today we're diving into the psychological price of World Cup fever. It's the story of how a massive sports tournament is basically engineered into a global psychological operation, one that targets your wallet entirely through your mind.
So let's ask the obvious question here. Why do we spend money we don't have? Seriously, why do perfectly rational, budget-conscious people suddenly hemorrhage cash every 4 years without even realizing it? Think about it. You might agonize over a $20 grocery purchase on a random Tuesday, right? But when the tournament rolls around, poof, that careful financial logic just vanishes. How does an event happening thousands of miles away completely rewire our financial self-control? Let's look at the crime scene evidence. I'm talking about dropping $100 on a brand new team jersey, activating expensive new streaming subscriptions just to catch matches at, like, 3 a.m., match tickets, international flights, ridiculously pricey limited edition merch. We're talking hundreds, sometimes thousands of dollars evaporating from perfectly rational households in just a matter of weeks. The real mystery here isn't what we're buying, it's exactly how they make us do it.
Which brings us to part 1, the invisible weapon, or hacking human perception.
To really understand this heist, we have to look at the sheer scale of the event. Millions watching, feeds flooded, friends talking. Just imagine the scene for a second. Millions upon millions of people watching the exact same broadcast at the exact same second. Every time you open your phone, your social feeds are completely flooded. Your coworkers, your family, your friends, everyone is fixated on this one thing. This omnipresence acts like an invisible pressure cooker. Our brains are hardwired to constantly scan our environment. And when your brain sees the entire world paying attention to one single thing, it triggers an ancient survival instinct. It literally assumes, hey, this must be critical to my survival.
The exact mechanism at play here is a little something called social proof. Basically, it's the psychological phenomenon where we just assume the actions of others reflect the correct behavior. When the whole world is draped in a team's colors, buying that jersey isn't about acquiring a piece of fabric anymore. It transforms into an emotional toll you pay just to belong to the tribe. You aren't really spending money on a shirt, you are buying your way into a massive global community.
Now let's move into the next phase of the trap, the scarcity trap, and the 4-year countdown. Because social proof alone, that isn't quite enough to cause a global spending frenzy. The architects behind this operation need to introduce a little bit of panic. Look at the timeline: 2018, 2022, 2026. Massive 4-year gaps of absolute silence between each tournament. Now, this isn't just a scheduling necessity for the athletes. It is a brilliant psychological trigger. The human brain is powerfully attracted to rare things. Because this specific event only happens twice a decade, the clock is ticking, and your brain is screaming at you to act before the window slams shut.
This artificial scarcity weaponizes a very specific, very modern anxiety, FOMO, or the fear of missing out. It's that creeping anxiety that an exciting or interesting event might currently be happening elsewhere. People start swiping their credit cards not out of logic or need, but entirely out of fear. It's the terrifying thought that the rest of the world is out there experiencing the thrill of a lifetime, and you're going to be left behind with nothing but regret.
And that leads us to the climax, the emotional override, adrenaline versus logic. The true masterpiece of this whole operation, the absolute peak of our mental breakdown, happens during the 90 minutes of the game itself. Let's compare logical thinking with emotional thinking. Normally, your logical thinking is careful, rational, and highly resistant to unexpected spending. But think about the final seconds of a tied match. A dramatic goal hits the back of the net. Your heart rate spikes, your brain is absolutely flooded with adrenaline. In that exact second, your logical thinking is completely shut down. It's instantly overridden by emotional thinking, which is celebratory, high on adrenaline, and has virtually zero resistance to opening your wallet. This is exactly why massive corporations spend literal billions to place ads right in the middle of these matches. They aren't just buying airtime, they are buying access to your brain at the exact moment its defenses are down.
So who actually benefits? Let's take a look at the shadow economy and follow the billions.
If you follow the money, you quickly realize the sports organizers are just the tip of the iceberg. We are looking at a massive interconnected shadow economy. Look at the industries cashing in. Airlines selling out flights at premium rates. Hotels rapidly filling up to maximum capacity. Food delivery apps experiencing unprecedented massive spikes in orders. Because, let's face it, no one dares leave the couch during a match. Streaming platforms gaining huge numbers of new subscribers. And sports brands pulling in millions in jersey and accessory sales. These industries might seem unrelated, but they are all quietly waiting in the wings, riding this multi-billion-dollar economic wave that's expertly surfing the psychological momentum engineered by the tournament.
Let's wrap this up with the final play, the real match.
I want to bring this reality uncomfortably close to home for a second. The next time you're sitting in front of your screen, adrenaline pumping, and you feel that sudden burning temptation to hit buy now on a jersey or a premium streaming package, I want you to pause. Just ask yourself, do I really want this? Am I acting out of a genuine necessity, or am I just reacting to invisible social pressure and artificial scarcity? Because the ultimate plot twist in all of this is that the biggest competition during the World Cup isn't happening on the field. It is happening right inside your mind. Billions of dollars are being wagered on your psychological triggers. It is a game you are actively playing right now, whether you realize it or not. The only question is, now that you can finally see the invisible weapons being used against you, who is going to win?